All right, so we're gonna talk about episode 16. Damn, we got this far. Woo! So, all right. So the topic we're gonna talk about is: can people live life when it comes to trading full time? And in my opinion, I feel like people can. Not just to speak behalf of myself, but like I feel like if you really put the mindset to it and you put the discipline and knowing your goals, you could actually have this as your main vehicle to doing whatever that you're truly passionate about. And do you feel like you agree?
I don't know. I think that I've come across this like stepping stone where when I first started trading,
Yeah.
that was the only thing I saw. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm about to make $100,000 a day. Like, let's get it. Like, let me put in the time. Let me put in the effort. Like, I invested in myself. And then it's like, is that necessarily true from the standpoint of most people when you get introduced to trading is
Yeah.
through, of course, we know iMarkets Live, or you have people that have private classes. And then you see the people that are extremely successful in trading, they have private courses. So is it that they're living off of their private courses, or is it that they are truly like, of course, we know there is a way to make capital in trading,
Yeah.
but when it comes to like that mindset, it's something different making $100,000 in a day when you have residual money coming in, or when you have courses that you know that's going to fund you $40,000 a month, so you don't have to worry about money, opposed to
Yeah.
just strictly living off of trading.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that a lot of people like to seize on the moment because they like to tack, especially Forex is becoming such a lifetime skill set that people want to capitalize on it. So if people could be making money off selling courses and knowing that they don't need to hold responsible, and I've seen it multiple times, people sell it, and then I'll get people that contact me. They're like, "Man, I went through this person's course, but they
They
never
didn't learn
lived,
anything.
never learned anything," and it's just like, "Oh wow." So, you know, and then they feel like they kind of going through a whole loophole, and they trying to find who's the best and who could actually provide them, being true to their word. And then at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Right.
So, yeah, you have people that if they actually do trade with them themselves, or they just making money off their courses. So,
And making sure that people don't believe the hype.
yeah,
I think that also, like you said, it's this ever increasing age of people taking courses back to back to back to back to back, but not really understanding that everything starts within them 1st. So then they'll pay for this course, they'll pay for this course, they'll pay for this course.
Yeah.
But like really at the end of the day, a strategy is a strategy. It's like your psychology that makes you who you are
Yeah.
in the market. Do you feel like every trader is one trade away from blowing their account?
Yeah, that's true. I think so. Like, especially when they feel like they grow the capital that they want to grow, and most people realistically have never seen like having like 40, like 30, or even 60 grand. Like you have that feeling, and now you're like, all right, perfect. I want to use those big lot size that everyone dreams to have. And like I get it all the time. People are like, "Oh, damn, you're using a $50 lot." It's just like you don't know the trials and the
Right.
tribulations that I went to get to that point. Like it's a mindset thing. It's not because how much capital that you have. It's
Right.
how you actually go into a market, placing a trade, and then executing it and being, yeah, I did that shit. So and then when you're in profit, you're like, wow. You look back at yourself and you're like, I made someone's yearly salary,
Right.
So it's the mindset that plays a very crucial role behind it, and then everything else just takes care of itself.
So, what are some of the trials and tribulations that you went through in order to start placing $50 lots?
Like, just like journaling. Like I started journaling on my trades. Getting on my entry points, my stop loss, my take profits, and then looking back testing it, and seeing how if I really waited on certain prices coming at certain areas, I could have placed a bigger lot size, and then it would have been a complete risk-free trade. So when I kept back testing it multiple times, and it was just like, all right, wow, like, the more that I keep seeing the movements happening, occurring, the more that I could start uploading my lot sizes every week. So it wasn't just like, oh, 1 month that it happened. Like
Right.
it took like a full year
Right.
for me to get up to that point to handle the emotion behind using a $10 lot,
Right.
using a $20 lot,
Right.
using a 40,
Right.
and then so on and so on. So then once you get into that emotion, you control that emotion.
Right.
Everything just plays out perfectly.
Yeah, because it's one thing to place a standard
Yeah.
and go and draw down
Oh yeah.
and be able to handle the drawdown, placing a standard.
Yeah.
But to go and draw down with like a $10 lot is crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I respect you for that, because a lot of people cannot handle
Oh
that.
yeah.
I can't handle a 10 standard lot size in drawdown,
Mm-hmm.
because even though I think it also is when you're paying attention to like structure and which one the markets do, opposed to paying attention to like the money.
Yeah, and that's true. This is a great example. I think it was about like couple weeks, beginning of last year. I had four $10 lots, and that was like kind of like really high up there. Over leveraged. I was down 100 pips. Down 35K.
Wait, hold on.
Literally, like I had a sell opportunity. No, yeah.
Let's
Everyone was
back
like,
up.
should I say it again? You want me to hold your heart?
Yeah, I need you. Like down 100 pips.
Yeah,
though,
down
that's
100
OD.
pips. Yeah, and I remember like it was yesterday. So I got in. It was like on Monday. I was in drawdown that whole entire week. Watched GJ. It was actually on GJ. Watched it go all the way up to create a new high.
Right.
And then I was like telling myself, like, like remove the emotion. I was really like talking to my MT4. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like that's what I was doing. So like, I was like, all right, you create a new high, whatever goes up, got to come down, right?
Right.
So basically watching it, coming down, retested, came down a couple of times, retested. I was just like, oh man, should I close and just secure? I was like, at that point, I was just like, whatever happens, this is going to be a lesson regardless. Like, I'm not taking an L. I'm just going to accept it. A lot of people would have thought that would have been crazy, but I'm glad that I hanged on because like I wanted to teach myself in that moment. Right. So I watched it coming back down. When it came Friday, we had like a lot of, British pound news, and then that impacted, came down, secured my profit and made some more. So I was just like, wow, this is not a roller coaster ride that I don't want to, teach to other people. But it's also good for other people to hear that, if you are able to handle a drawdown, you could handle everything.
Right.
So when it comes to the whole emotion entering their trade and being in drawdown, you got to really tell yourself that, look, this is part of the process. I know this is what it is. Complaining is not going to do anything, So like if you're getting into that trade, you got to trust that you believe in your analysis 410%. If it's wrong, it's not wrong. It's just a lesson.
That's very admirable, because I would not be able to handle
Yeah.
100 pips drawdown is like crazy to
Yeah.
me. Like you must have analyzed that like way on a higher time frame or
Yeah.
something, because that's crazy. I would not have stayed in a trade that was 100 pips drawdown. However, the fact that your mindset could handle that and your account could
Yeah.
handle it is something else. So like, did you not use a stop loss for that trade?
No, I didn't.
You were like, I'm just gonna let it run.
Yeah, I was gonna let it run. I just had my entry. Hey.
Yeah, y'all mad loud,
Right.
yo.
I was like, I had my entry right in the bottom before it started the whole uptrend. So I was just like, damn. So I'm glad I didn't use a stop loss, but like I should have used a stop loss just due to being, using good risk management. But like I would have protected and lost some, but it would have capitalized on that uptrend and then coming back down some. But like it was like at the same time, I'm like, look, I like to do what other people has never done before. Like even like the beginning of this month, I don't even want to even explain how much I've lost, but it was a very big amount. But I like to do things that completely people could never handle. When it comes to the mindset, I love challenging my mind. Every single day, every time I get into a trade, I want to challenge my mind. I want to see how I could handle the emotion behind it, how I could handle just like the trial of that trade, and showing people that, look, you're not going to always see blue all the time.
Right.
Like I actually enjoy showing people that my account is hella in red, and then you could see that whole margin call in the section just blinking. It's like a heartbeat, back and forth, back and forth. You're in the positive, you're in the negative, and it's just like you don't see that from a lot of traders, you know, because what we're always perceived online is that everyone's showing the wins and wins
Right.
and wins and wins, you know, but that's great.
But nobody's showing the
Yeah,
losses.
no one's showing the losses.
Nobody's showing
like,
the drawdown.
Yeah, so
Nobody's
like,
showing the margin.
so people are like, yeah, you know, this is what it is, but like, could you handle that? Could you test yourself as a true trader that you could handle the drawdown behind it? Because if you could handle it, and it's nothing that you can't handle.
How do you remove emotions from trading?
Oh, you got to talk to yourself. You got to be your own hype man. So like I pat myself in the back. I'm like, yo, Ken, you a beast ass trader, bro. Like, you know, like no one is gonna touch you. No one can fuck with you on the entries. Like you just gotta seize that moment. And then when you seize that moment, like it's just like it's you and the charts. No one else. I have people always sending me analysis. I'm like, look, I don't care about your analysis. I'm looking at mine.
Right.
Right. So
Right,
you
right.
stick to yours. You believe in yours. Cool. If you take the L, guess what? It's just a lesson. And then you go back again and you do it all over again.
So speak to traders that sometimes second guess themselves in the market. Because
Yeah.
what you just said is very, very valid.
Yeah.
But psychologically, when people are in trades and they could have analyzed the hell out of a trade,
Mm-hmm.
but let's say it wicks up or something crazy happens
Yeah.
and the market just goes the other way, even though you know your analysis is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, the average trader is going to be like, oh no, like clearly I got this analysis wrong, and then
Yeah.
they just wish that they stayed in it once it plays out.
Yeah, that's happened. I think a few times. Yeah, last week. Like he said last night. Oh, that's a little too soon, but but like yeah, that has happened. Like you know, like maybe like there are times that where market has come down, but it still hasn't made that full pullback, but it still needed to make a bigger push yet, right?
Right.
So it was looking to create a new high, and then you're looking for the entry, but like when you start to doubt yourself and you're like, all right, you know what? That's where you want to come to play, that you want a market to come to you. You don't ever want to be chasing trades.
Right.
You know, allow the market to come to you. If it's done making its reversal point, then make that clear indication that, all right, perfect. I'm confident now. It's a high. You stick to your trading rules. You stick to it. You enter. You execute. You set your stop profit. Then it becomes a risk-free trade, and then let it ride. But if it doesn't go in the direction that you want to go, then cut your losses early so you can prepare yourself for the next trade.
Right. Okay. So I know the answer to this question, but I do want to ask this because we're getting kind of like off topic just a
Yeah.
little bit. So I want to come back on to like what we're talking about. So we were talking about like how every trader could be one trade away from blowing their account.
Yeah.
Right. So once you make a massive amount of profit or whatever the case may be, the average person want to know, like, what do you do with that money? Of course, we know, like, invest it into
Yeah.
other things or whatever. But what advice do you have for people that are traders that, like, really don't know what to do with their money?
It's a very good question. Like, honestly, whatever that you withdraw, you need to save at least 30% of whatever that you withdraw for tax purposes, right? So then you could apply that for your 1090 and have it for your self-employed. So then you could actually make more money from the side of filing your own taxes, right? Second thing is you want to reinvest into yourself. I know a lot of people want to reinvest into the materialistic things, look good. Yeah, you could treat yourself. That's great.
Right.
But like you want to get into the position that you don't want to worry about making money. You don't
Right.
want to be putting in the long hours to make what you made. You made that 50K and it took you like all week to do so. Like you want take all week to do so, but like you want to use that money, that capital to reinvest into any ideas. So like that's why trading is such a great platform that you could actually use this vehicle to actually invest into what you're truly passionate about. Because realistically, people are only working because that's the only vehicle that's paying you out.
Right.
Right. So if you're actually using this the right way, you could truly do what you're truly passionate about, and it gives you more opportunities and opens a lot of doors.
Okay. Last question, because you just talked about taxes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Yeah,
ask me,
yeah.
like, how do you file taxes when it comes to trading? I'm going to let you go, and then I want to say my perspective on it. But
Yeah.
I do want you to, like, go. Like, how do you file taxes when it comes to trading? Like, what is your input on that?
It's very important, you know. Like unless you want the IRS coming and knocking on your door and they're like, "Hey, look, you made almost $250,000 and you haven't paid any of your taxes."
Mm-hmm.
Like that really begins to question, you know, everything that you're doing. So like you always want to play everything safe because the bigger the capital, the more money that you're gonna have to put down just for tax purposes. So and what people are not even aware is that to how to go about doing it is that you need to go whoever that files for your taxes, right? Print out your withdrawal statement so it has everything as proof of documentation, and then whatever that you withdraw from your. So I suggest that whatever you draw, put it in your savings account. So when you need to pay the difference of how much that you've made throughout your trading, and then you pay the difference, and then you're all set. So then it's giving you a track record that like, all right, perfect. This person is a great citizen, paying his taxes. He's making his money.
Great citizen.
Yeah, great citizen. You gotta pay Uncle Sam somehow, right?
Right.
So you can't cut the check for yourself. So
Right.
that's where a lot of people get so caught up is that if you're not filing for your taxes after your trading, after that whole year, you made so much money. People get so caught up and want to buy things and
Right.
and it's not giving you no ROI at the end of the day, which it kind of baffles me because like I've made so much money on trading, but I've reinvested back into myself. So I'm getting a lot of tax breaks. So this month, February,
Right.
I'm going to have a fat tax check, like, and it's just going to be like, great, keep reinvesting.
Right.
So like, if you're not reinvesting, you're not living life the right way. I'm just
Right.
saying, like, if you want to capitalize on making more money and you want to be wealthy, you want to be rich, you want to be successful, reinvest. It's going to save you so much more money the long run. So
Okay. So with taxes, last question. I said last question twice, so I'm gonna make it quick. So with your taxes though, do you feel like it's wise for somebody to put the money that they make from trading into like cryptocurrencies, but not like fluctuating cryptocurrencies like altcoins where it's like, or like stable coins where it's not moving in the market, and then pay yourself out every month? Do you feel like that's wise?
Well, if you're putting into cryptocurrency, you don't even have to worry about the tax difference. It just depends on the current wallet that you're using. So if you're using like Coinbase, like
Right.
yeah, you're gonna still have to handle with the tax difference because they got their hands already
Right.
on the tax percentage. So you still would have to, whatever that you make money on that and you're making any withdrawal, at least save like a certain percentage, and then as again, you just doing the exact same thing, just how you're withdrawing. You show your statement, pay the difference, and then you keep it moving forward. But like if you're getting into like, I know a lot of people are getting into putting money in crypto with Cash App. So now you can be completely fine. Like
Cash App shut my account down.
yeah, you see,
Like
Cash App
if
don't
you,
want
if
people to
you,
win.
yeah, no, if you buy too much Bitcoin on
Yeah.
Cash App, they will shut your account
Yeah,
down.
so see, that's a fun fact. I did not know about
Cash
that.
App will shut
but-
your account down. Like I have $2,000 sitting in Cash App right now that I cannot get out.
For real?
Yes,
For what? Damn. You can't call
Cash App does not have a number.
them? I bet you can find it.
On God, Cash
Yeah.
App does not have a number. Trust me, because I would love for that money to be in my market and not just sit in Cash App.
Damn.
Yeah, so
So
Yeah.
so it's something called what is it called? The Anti-Money Laundering Act, where like they just like did something with Cash App. So
Cash App phone number?
you see Cash App?
Because I just Googled it and it popped up.
Okay, call it. Tell me if it works.
oh man,
Hey, no, call
we
it.
going live.
Call it.
wait. Yeah, baby, we live, baby.
Call it.
Oh,
I done
man.
emailed Cash App compliance and everything. Please call it.
It's like, sorry, we are unavailable.
To contact the Cash team member, please do so through your Cash app or by visiting cash.app/help. Live phone
Why don't you be a person from India?
Damn, not generally available.
Exactly.
What's the time?
Yeah.
I did that.
See?
I covered all bases, huh?
So you bought too much?
This kind of refers back
Listen.
to what Kanye was saying about like America, like it's just land of money. Like,
Really? Because okay,
like-
like you were saying, like with cryptocurrencies, you don't have to worry about taxes because
Yeah.
it's like decentralized, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like that's amazing, but with this whole like the anti-money laundering act, it's another one like what is it? Do you know? I forgot the name of it. It's like something. Okay, well, it's these like regulations that like now the government is trying to impose onto like cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. So they are trying to regulate your money. They're like that's why now with Cash App, when you use Bitcoin or whatever, you have to go through this whole like, are you doing it for investing? Are you doing it for like business purposes or whatever? And you have to send them like your ID, and they track all of that.
Yeah.
And then I keep asking them, what did I do wrong? Like, if they're allowing you to use Bitcoin on Cash App and you use it, why would they shut your account down? And they said that I did not comply with their like some regulations or something like that.
Another option is to get like a hardware wallet.
Yeah, that is like the best option to do, because and then it kind of really cuts. Yeah, it cuts being the whole middleman.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah, it's not even that expensive either.
Cause Cash App was so convenient. Like all you gotta do is just
Yeah,
QR
it's simple.
code.
That's how they get.
it.
That's how they get every
And
consumer
now-
though. If it's simple, it's easy. What are people gonna do?
Okay, all right. You trying to throw shots?
No,
now.
I'm not throwing
You trying to
shots.
say
I'm
people
just,
take the
I'm
easy
just,
way out.
I'm just trying to say like that's just like how our generation is just set up. Everyone loves the easy route. Everyone loves how they could be rich overnight. Like, that's the whole concept that we've been painted for decades now. So like,
This is true.
so
is
when
true.
people see Forex, they're like, oh my God, this person did this. That's me up next, and they forget all about the hard work behind it.
Americans are lazy.
Yeah.
You get the easiest way.
Mhm.
90% of the time. The hard work is not.
Why do you think we have casinos
I agree
all over the
that.
country? Like,
I agree with that.
We got 10 miles.
like.
It's crazy.
I agree with that 100%.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Well, we are out.
Yep.
Nice
So,
having you.
I
First
know,
off, you
right?
didn't introduce me, so
Appreciate
let's
having.
you can't have a special guest and not introduce them on your podcast.
I
but
know, right?
I'll wait.
I don't know. Could we edit that out?
I'll wait.
All right. So we appreciate Jessica for coming all the way to AZ and being our special guest for episode 16, talking about could you make trading your full-time income? And I think she hit every question on the nail. So I hope you guys would enjoy this valuable information, and stay tuned for episode 17.